welcome to a special edition of Our Daily West. I'm Liam Swanson.
And I'm Ricky Figueroa. Tonight we will be focusing on the 4 important events of our great nation's westward expansion.
First, we will be taking a look at the Cumberland Road. The Cumberland Road, also known as a national road, stretched for 600 miles. It was the first federal highway in the United States. It was also the first main route to the Northwest Territory. The purpose of this road was to unite the new nation by providing a way to travel across the land to reach the new settlements in the West. It was known as the gateway to the West for thousands of settlers. Construction began in 1811 and was completed in 1837. This road began at Cumberland on the Potomac in Maryland. It became known as the Cumberland Road because it connected Cumberland, Maryland to the Ohio River. When construction began, James Madison served as the 4th American president. This road was 80 feet wide and could fit 2 covered wagons side by side. Irish workers were lucky if they earned $6 per month for breaking and laying stones on this road.
Thank you, Liam. That was very interesting.
Now Ricky will be talking about the 1830 Indian Removal Act.
The 1830 Indian Removal Act is formally entitled An Act to Provide for an Exchange of Lands with the Indians residing in any of the states or territories, and for their removal west of the River Mississippi. This law was urged by President Andrew Jackson. He wanted to settle the land, but it was also due to the discovery of gold. Congress decided to pass the law on May 28 in 1830, but not without contest. The federal government had the power to force the relocation of many Native American tribes living in the East to territory that is west of the Mississippi River, providing about $500,000 for this measure. This law led to the forced migration of approximately 60,000 Native Americans between 1830 and 1840.
We will talk more about the removal of the Native Americans after a short commercial break.
Don't go. We'll be back in a minute.
Did you know that in California, if you find gold, you can keep it? Ever since Mr. James Marshall and Mr. John Stutter found gold on the river in a farm in California, thousands of people are trying their luck in finding this precious metal, and you can too. Wagon or steamboat, whatever you choose, just come to California and make your dreams come true.
We are eager to hear what is happening on the Trail of Tears.
The Trail of Tears occurred when the U.S. government forced Native Americans to move from their homelands in the southern United States to Indian Territory in Oklahoma. People of the Cherokee, Muskogee, Chickasaw, Choctaw, and Seminole tribes were marched at gunpoint across hundreds of miles to reservations. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forced Native American tribes from the South. This took many years. It began with the removal of the Choctaw in 1831 and ended with the removal of the Cherokee in 1838. The Indians named it the Trail of Tears because it was so harsh. The Indians faced hunger, disease, and exhaustion because they were forced to march. 4,000 out of 15,000 died. Many of the Indians wanted to fight for their land but knew they could not defeat the U.S. government and its army. They tried to make a petition to save their land, but it failed. They had to walk a harsh and painful march. It was a sad time. Much of the land the Indians were promised by law in Oklahoma was taken from them. They were given money to buy food along the way, but dishonest suppliers sold them bad food at high prices, causing many of them to starve.
Sad chapter in our nation's story.
Indeed. Now why don't we hear about the Oregon Trail?
The Oregon Trail became a network of unconnected trails used by Native American Indians and fur traders. The Oregon Trail was the important route taken by settlers from the east migrating to build a new life in the western parts of the United States. The Oregon Trail covers over 2,000 miles, originally starting in Independence, Missouri, from where it follows the Platte River westwards, crossing the Rocky Mountains, the Sierra Nevada Mountains, and then Wyoming, and ends in Oregon City in the Willamette Valley in Oregon. Settlers travel in large wagons, trains, using covered wagons to carry their supplies and belongings for the 6-month journey. Now the Oregon Trail seems like a great place to travel. But pioneers risked their lives. About 1 in 20 people die in the Oregon Trail. There are many things you can die from. Illness, wounds, and diseases are very common things pioneers die from. If you want to go travel the Oregon Trail, you have to take a lot of risk. But the government is offering little money per acre, so you should hurry and travel the Oregon Trail before the land gets too expensive.
And that's it for our show tonight. We hope you enjoyed our program. Have a good night.